Hi, Serena. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Congratulations on this. It was such a beautiful film. Why is this the story you wanted to tell next?
Oh, when I first read Ruth Stiles Gannett's book, My Father's Dragon, I just the opportunity to get some of that magic up on the screen was something that I was really taken with. There's a page in Ruth's book. Ruth first wrote that story back in 1948. That's when it was first published, and she wrote that book for herself. She said she didn't really do it with readers in mind. She just wanted to kind of appeal to the child within herself. And so it's just such a tremendous story. But there's a particular page in the book where Elmer's the main character, and his mom and he have this argument over just a saucer of milk. He gives a saucer of milk to a stray alley cat, and his mom just really gets angry with it. And I was wondering what was going on in that mom's head, that a saucer of milk was a big deal, and what was going on when Elmer kind of saw his mom in that way. For me, just set my imagination off, and to think that's a catalyst for something that it propels Elmer onto this whole journey to go and find a dragon on this, amazing island called Wild Island. Um, the opportunity for all of that, putting it up on the screen, was something that I really wanted to do. Having been both a child who's looked up into the face of an adult and realized they weren't telling me the whole truth, and also having been a mom who looked
That
the
adult.
children's faces, yeah, and maybe didn't tell the whole truth just to kind of like save my kids from some of the harsher things in life. The opportunity to explore that, I think, was something that I really couldn't say no to. And so when Netflix came along and asked, can we make this film? I just thought the opportunity was just incredible, and the idea then as a filmmaker and somebody who's used to being an indie filmmaker, the fact that people can just go and click on this film and watch it, in their own
Yeah.
living rooms. I think that's something that's amazing. So from the 11th of November, the film's going to be up there on Netflix, and that's something that I'm really excited about.
Nora, you mentioned there that Ruth wrote this book for herself, for her inner child. How does your inner child feel when you go, oh my gosh, I am getting to do this job that, when we were at school, we were all about the drawing and didn't know that it could possibly be a job. And not only is it a job, Nora, but you also go get Oscar nominated for jobs you do. How does that feel?
I pinch myself really when I think of the job that I do. I left school when I was 15, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know where I was going, or I didn't know how I was going to end up. But I continued drawing, and that for me was it helped me through a lot of things in life. I think drawing is amazing. I don't think it matters whether you're good at drawing or bad at drawing. If you can do it, it slows you down, and it's like a meditation, and it helps you listen and calm down and learn. And for me, it's been the center of everything. I've managed to end up in a situation where I'm surrounded by a lot of people who love to draw. Animators, we worked with 150 artists. There was 300 people in total working on this film, all giving
Wow.
their skills and talents, and all getting behind Elmer's journey, all understanding that story and that through line of emotion that we have going through the whole film. They all of our artists and our voice cast, they all got on board because they understood characters like Elmer and Boris, and they wanted to do what was best for those characters and put those characters up on the screen. So yeah, I pinch myself every day to think that I get to draw for a living.
Boris says to Alma, you're the answer guy. I'm going to call you the answer guy. You said there were over 300 crew on this film, on this production. How does it feel to be the answer person? I know you have heads under you, but ultimately you are the person that they go, let's just go ask Nora.
That's the thing. You don't have to be the answer guy. As a director, you sometimes have to be the question guy, and you have to, when you find good answers, and sometimes that's coming from somebody who's like just started as an intern on the project, and they have like a take on a character that's really interesting, or it's an actor in a booth. Gaten Matarazzo and Jacob Tremblay as Boris and Elmer, they had such good ideas for their characters. So you just need to recognize good ideas. You don't need to have all the answers. With animation, it takes such a long time. You can really think about things, and you can layer that story in ways you know, that really gives truth to the characters. And I think so yeah, being a director isn't necessarily about having all the right answers all the time. It's about having an emotional connection to the story that you're telling, and then being brave enough to, you know, to say, I don't know the answer, and can you help me find the answer, to your crew. And they love that, because everyone wants to be involved and have a sense of ownership on the jobs that they're doing. And so by making sure that there's space for everybody to fully participate in the story that they're telling, then you get to be really part of a team. And that's something that feels really wonderful as a director.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned the word being brave, you know, being brave to give the answer and being brave to ask the question. And that's what I feel we are looking at in this film as well. You know, it's all about facing the fear. But Nora, sometimes the fear is there and it can be crippling, but we know if we face it and feel the fear, what the end goal, like what you end up achieving, is amazing. How do you go, okay, I'm bricking it right now, but I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it anyway.
I really believe every day is a gift, and the fact that that you know, you have people in your life, if you're lucky enough to have people in your life that give you strength and that help give you meaning, that's what keeps me going. Yeah, life is scary, and I think, you know, anybody who survived the last couple of years, we all know that it's scary. And especially for young people, I think, you know, understanding that, you know, sometimes we don't have answers and all we have is questions, and sometimes all we have is each other. Elmer and Boris find each other in this film, you know, and they find strength in each other's vulnerability, you know, and I think that's a lovely theme. It's something that our whole team got behind. It's something that Jacob and Gaten really got behind, and it's something that I'm very proud of, that's in our film.
You mentioned Jacob and Gaten there. You've assembled an amazing voice cast. There's also like Chris O'Dowd, Whoopi Goldberg, too many to mention. What was it like directing them? And during a pandemic, did lockdown affect that at all?
We were lucky to get our cast in the first place. I'm not someone, you know, who would really like push out there and say, I want Whoopi Goldberg or I want Ian McShane. But our casting director, Amy Lippens, was just, you'd say, okay, like, what's the type of person that you like? And I say, you know, kind of like Gaten Matarazzo. I think that would be great. And she'd just go and so that was just incredible to find yourself in a situation when you're in a recording booth with, you know, amazing actors. So they were just incredible. We managed to do a lot of the recordings before the pandemic hit. And so we got, you know, Jacob and Gaten, for example, were able to record together in a booth together. And so being able to kind of witness that magic, because they had a genuine friendship and a genuine, you know, rapport between them. And so as a director, you just kind of have to sit back in a situation like that and just let them at it, because I knew once we started recording those first couple of scenes that there's a magic in their connection together, that once we captured that and brought it to our animators, once our animators started working on those scenes together, that, you know, we were good.
Well, you're more than good. This is such a fabulous film. Nora, thank you so much for giving up your time, and congratulations.